Eliminate the proportions because you really precisely try to imitate the atmosphere in your visualization, but my question would be more towards if you use model or different scales of discovering if it's proper or not, about your design procedure. Thank you.
Well, actually, we would make physically model for each project, but you know, it's quite impossible to do that, and we, of course, starting model it in virtual way, you know, in 3D. It's clear that there is not a rule, but I think that you just feel the proportion, the right proportion. Of course, it's of course related with your sensibility, but and with the site, the existing situation, some references, the height of the building, the height of the roof, other things which are very common in all projects. But we are not working physically with model, but we are working and designing with the images, so with the 3D virtual model, very carefully. I mean, never we never do like you know, some trick in the 3D. In order to be honest, you know, architects often, especially in competition proposals, say, okay, maybe enlarge that, maybe give a couple of meters more, I don't know, nobody will care about it. For us, from the very beginning, it was a question of honor, I don't know. It was the reason because we find the good proportion in real modeling, so it should be good, the image as well. I don't know if this answer could be totally focused, but yes, it's a way, it's a process. You can simply feel the right way, maybe one of them.
You're totally right. I can see it in your architecture that it's, I would say, similar to Kúpeľov Malvézi or Sergison Bates, or like architects like with great names, like they really take a real careful approach to the scales of models. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you. They are architects that we usually pin, you know, on Pinterest. So. It's maybe, I don't know, thank you.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot for a great presentation, and I see the three very calm guys, like everything is okay and we just chilling, and I see a big amount of work behind it. So my question is, how is your studio structured, and how you reach up the deadlines on time, and do you sketch by hand or do you do it by computer from beginning, and how big is your team behind you all guys? Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will give you an answer, but in order to summarize how clear and organized is our office, maybe if I pass the microphone to the others, the answer is, it will be different. So anyway, the point is we are not actually quite calm, maybe after the lecture, because, you know, I told you it was very important for us. Something I can answer partially with this video, no? It's a matter of repetition, no? If you do loop things, because an old way maybe to teach and learn, it's repeat and repeat, no? It's something that we don't want to do anymore, because the modern approach to things, it's do something and find the meaning of things and think on it, not repeat the poem 100 times. But in fact, it's extremely important, repeat the poem 100 times, because in the end, repetition is variation, actually, and it's something that can become, you can make it perfect, step by step. So the workflow is sketching by hand, sketching by tablet, like Paola, or doing that on 3D models, but yes, keep drawings, because it's the easy way to connect your mind to the project, sketch it, like Rifocillon, the poetry of an ant, if I remember the translation of that text. And our relation is a sort of inside the work, inside the daily office routine. We are not so much, not that much. We are 6 nowadays. So actually, it's very hard to build up an office when you started to be involved in big project, because you can feel that you are losing the control somehow, somewhere, and maybe even that your work is turning up in something else. No, it's not only about competition. It's not only about taking care. It's not only about the creative process. You have to keep together a lot of many fields. So this is the hardest part. We tried to split responsibilities and competencies, but of course, it's not so easy. I think it's something that we have to learn with the time. Our way is usually following the creative approach in order to stay in a comfort zone, is sometimes choose a project, because we are showing you our final shoes, but behind there was 100 repetition and variation. So you can only see the last version of the project. Thank you for the question.
Hello. I have 2 questions. My first is, you mentioned you have more than 80 projects for your career, and it's a very nice job. I will check it. And as you mentioned that you work with a 3D model in projecting, my question is, which software do you use? For example, in project Grossling, where is too much facades or structures. And my second question is also for Grossling, and in architecture, this time we are working on inclusion between building and people. And how you say for main entry to building, I saw stairs. I didn't saw, for example, elevator. So if you can show us where is, for example, entry for people on wheelchair, because I didn't saw that on all one. Thank you.
Thank you too. Actually, we usually work. We are not yet turned in only one program, like BIM program. So we keep working with a lot of softwares, and basically is AutoCAD, Rhinoceros, and for the renders, maybe Cinema 4D or 3D Studio Max with different render plugin like V-Ray or Corona. We are not using only one. Last month, we are using Cinema 4D plus Corona. That's the tool. About Grossling question, actually, this disabled people attention and circulation, it's very focused, and it's one of the main points in order to turn the existing situation, because you know the ground floor in the historical building, usually it's 1 meter up, no? So, as Paola said before, this kind of panca di via is a ramp that lets you reach the ground floor, that we want to keep the actual size, level of the ground floor. And all the project, one of the first steps was have and uniform this ground floor level everywhere, okay? So, for example, if you remember on Kúpeľov Street, this old and new facade system, the basement, it's actually an answer not only to follow the existing basement, but it's hiding the floor, which is 1.2 meters up than the exterior pathway. Okay, so it's totally any disabled people. It will be totally able to go there, I hope. So the plan is it.
Hello, thank you for your presentation. It was very nice. I've seen a lot of sections you were showing in your previous project, and I was thinking if it's your design tool, if you're using it when you're designing, and then I haven't seen it on Grossling project, so how you were designing this project, if it was just modeling or you also did sections.
I'm not sure that I get very well the question. You mean where and how we manage the section in Grossling, like the other project?
If it's your tool for designing, if you are looking...
Well, we didn't show the section in Grossling, yes, but trust me, we have some questions. A couple of, no. I mean, of course, you know, we cannot show everything. We decided to hide it, not show it, but we have it, and in a kind of way, we can say that our design approach from the Renaissance is to draw before built. It was actually a pretty new thing, and nowadays this story section, plan, elevation, and we are very linked with that simple way to show a project, but it's not so important. So you can imagine the project like a model, no? It's about how you have to communicate the project to the workers, to the clients, to all people that have to work in. So we are working with the section and plan and elevation because we are also in love with drawings, with 2D drawings. And we think that a good 2D drawings, even if it is not so clear, but it's inside the drawing structure, some proportion, maybe simple, some details. So how you can draw simple a section can communicate and can let the project coming out. In order to answer about the section, we are usually work with the plans, like the most important drawings, but I think it's section, actually. I mean, when you get inside this space, this auditorium, the first thing that you can get it, maybe it's square, it's a square, but it's the void, not the section. It's the first thing that you will perceive in architecture. It's the most important thing. Of course, you have to plan also the plans, but yes, it's a key point in all the projects.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you for your question. And the last thing is thank you all that you have been here today, and thank you all 3 young architects that you have presented very nice pieces of architecture, and I hope that it will be soon possible to buy a ticket to the bathroom, that we will meet there.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hand the stand-up comedy for being an architect, so I made my shoes. Anyway, thank you all, and once again, from our side, it was a pleasure and an honor to be here. It was very, very, you know, unique situation and scenario, and I thank you two all, because I know that your lunchtime is before the Italian standard, and maybe you all are hungry. So I let you go and say thank you once again to everybody to be here. Thank you.